Hey everybody, this is Blacktop Banter. I'm not sure the episode number. I'm pretty sure probably 96, 97, 90 something, one way or another. We're recording live here at the National Pavement Expo in Charlotte, North Carolina. You can see on the mic, or on the screen, who's on the mic. Josh, myself, Jake, who we're going to get to in a minute. We'll let him speak here in a little bit. But this is a video version we got here. We are live a little bit off and on here at the show as well. Really excited to do this. It's been a long time coming. We've kind of done it a little bit impromptu, unofficially. This will be the first time we got it officially here at National Pavement Expo on stage. And, you know, I had in my mind kind of who I would like to talk to about this show, especially here at Charlotte. And we've kind of seen a transition here coming up of a lot of younger blood and newer generation coming up through, but also how the older generation that is around, the staples, are helping nurture those guys through the business and stuff as well. So I wanted to gain these two perspectives. And, man, we're really happy to be here. The live broadcast is brought to you by 800 Pavement Network, which is the first time we've ever had anything like that happen, so that's very exciting as well, who we're also a vendor here at National Pavement Expo. I'm going to start with you, my good guy. We've done this a couple times, and we were just talking that you were heading to another trade show coming up. You're always on the road, moving, shaking, doing. But you've become a staple face there at the PAvePro booth, right? And I know that your company does contracting work and stuff as well. So I really wanted to kind of gain your perspective on how the show went for you, what you've seen, and how it was for you so far.
Yeah, I think this year, of all the years we've come here, has been one of the best, believe it or not. After COVID, especially, you know, with the core of what we do being coming to these shows as an exhibitor, it's changed. COVID really took a hit on everybody, and trying to figure out how do we pivot and what do we do and manage the expectation of what we see coming to the show has changed, and I think that it's been progressing ever since, and this show's been great for us. It's great to see familiar faces and seeing a lot of new faces this year, so I have no complaints all around. I'm really happy with it.
So when we talk about familiar faces, I'm guessing some of those familiar faces that you've seen are probably not faces that you actually seen in person, right?
Yeah.
So when we talk about that, like the experiences by people that had their booths, you know, I seen Doug over here. Doug was over at our booth. I see Doug online most of the time, right? So that's how we get connected before that happens. Do you think that you guys are very active on social media, as are we? You always had people at your booth. We always had people at our booth. Do you think that was a major factor in why you had so much success of people coming to your booth and visiting you and hanging out?
Absolutely. I got to give a lot of credit to my younger brother. He runs our social media, and the amount of people that came by and said, we've seen you on TikTok, we've seen you on Instagram, or just from afar pointing and pulling up their phone and showing everyone. It was kind of surreal knowing that the wave is coming. There's been a turn of events and a change in course for the industry. It's really, really cool.
Yeah, and I mean, it's advantageous to you, right, to adapt that.
Yeah, and like I said, meeting the people who you see and interact with online. That first night, the unofficial first night of NPE this year was great. It was the
Blacktop Banter kickoff.
Yeah, the Blacktop Banter kickoff was awesome.
Yeah, there's a lot of people.
If you guys missed that, man, I feel bad for you. It was a great time, and I think that was the start of just a linear progression of this show for sure.
Dude, we talk a lot, you and I do, and Matt, about techniques and social media. You know, just how we're going to do our clips, how we're going to do marketing, and what's been successful at it. And for a long time, I still don't know that I'm really good at it. I think that I just happened to do it first, and as long as something was there, it happened to be the popular thing at first. I actually think, truthfully, probably that's what it is. And the reason I know that that's what it is because of Jake. So you can hand the mic over to Jake. So we do really well talking about what we do strategy-wise, but in this industry, there's a group, you know, there's just people that do certain things. Landon at ASAP, right? We have a conversation quite a bit about, you know, who the best stripers in the country are. And you just know who does it and does it like artwork, and then who does it and does it really efficiently, really well, and puts out great numbers, and then who's all around really well. I know that we do decent content, but I know when I look at Jake's stuff, that's how I wish my content, every single piece was. I can't do that because I'm not geared towards that with the little bits. But let's talk a little bit about that, what that's done for you, your mindset on that as well. You presented this year on website, SEO, marketing, like all that, right?
Yeah.
And you are, as far as I can imagine, maybe one of the youngest speakers ever at NPE.
Yeah.
But what you do and what we do is so important to the future of brands for our companies and the industry and our community that it had to be put on. And even though you're young yet, the proof's in the pudding. Same way as if you were out paving a lane or a road or a parking lot and you killed it, we all would be like, man, you killed it. You do that with your content as well. Can you hit on that a little bit?
Yeah, so my name is Jacob Buck with Buck Brothers. We're a paving company. We also do concrete and seal coat. We're in Toledo, Ohio. I'd first like to mention that, yes, I did it was my first time speaking here at National Pavement Expo. We spoke on Google My Business and some SEO stuff. It is only my second National Pavement Expo.
Yeah.
I didn't think I'd be speaking at the second one that I attended. The first one, of course, was like very surreal. It's your first experience. Everything's new. Everything's cool. This one was definitely better than last year's. I had something to compare it to, right? We may have not seen.
What made it so good? What made it so good? For you to say that it was better than last year's, what was so good?
So the number one thing about this year versus last year was there was a lot more networking, a lot of more people approaching me and my team and wanting to start conversations. Attending events like the Blacktop Banter kickoff event, the one that the NASCAR Hall of Fame party,
the Expo put on, that was a good one.
The NYRA party that we were invited to. There was so many networking opportunities that were available this year versus last year.
Isn't that kind of crazy though to think that how big of an impact that aspect of it is? I mean, we have great speakers, right? Intelligent speakers that are doing cutting edge stuff. We have great pieces of equipment, great exhibitors, a lot of fun. But really what makes it better every year is the fact that your network is growing, who you're interacting with is growing, you're developing relationships, and then we get to interact with these relationships here in person, right?
Of course, yeah.
So now tell us about your tasty edits in the videos and whatnot, and why you did it, and your perspective on it for what it does for your business.
Okay, yeah, I definitely can touch on that. So what a lot of people don't know is I've always had a little taste for the photography and videography side of things. So it was more of like it felt natural to create content, right? I've been doing it as far as back as I can remember, even in high school and middle school projects. I'd always want to have that, as best as I could do on any video, photo type deal. So it kind of came upon accident, right? I seen everybody else making stuff, and I wanted to make stuff that represented my company and my work, and I like to have nice equipment, and I think that reflects onto my jobs, and I think that my marketing and how nice it looks reflects my jobs. So
it's branding.
I keep it whole. Yeah, exactly. That's what branding is, and
it's not just one faceted, right? It's not just wrapping your truck. It's not just putting yard signs out, right?
Exactly.
It's every single bit of it all the way through. The whole thing's branding.
And one thing he does really well is shows off his guys.
Don't make it weird. What
I've noticed is that Jacob puts up a lot of content of different employees and their background and what they do day to day and just how they interact with each other. And it seems like from me watching your stuff, that's done really well for you. Do you think that's been a big part of helping build the brand identity in Buck Brothers?
Yeah, so I'll definitely touch on that. So one thing when I started doing this,
I'm gonna get a shirt made that has your face says I definitely touch on that.
Okay. Yeah. Let's not do that one. That might not be allowed at NPE. I'd buy one.
I want mine signed.
Just give me like 15% of the commission. We'll call it even.
I definitely
I am going to touch on that one because this was surprising when I did this. So when I did the content, it's of course for the customers, right? I'm showing off to the customers what my guys do on a day-to-day basis. I want to show off the work that we're doing and give the customers on an insight of what asphalt paving, seal coat, and concrete is, because a lot of them, they've never seen the process of it. So, but the one thing that really surprised me was the employee retention side side of this
creating
deal, right?
content with your employees.
Correct. Yeah.
Help
Yeah.
ensure employee retention.
Correct. Yep.
Yeah.
And it wasn't my intention for this to happen. But when I have employees coming in the morning and they say, hey, my kid showed me on TikTok or Instagram, their wife's posting my pictures on their personal Facebook. Buck Brothers is a great company. Here's a great picture of my husband at work. Obviously, we're in the workforce every day. We're on the jobs. But your kids and your family don't see what you're usually doing on a day-to-day basis, right?
Yeah.
They see you leave for work and they see you come back and they see the money, right, that you're supporting them. They don't see what it takes to make that money. And I've kind of created a window for that for my employees where they feel proud of what they're doing now. Their kids are happy for them. Their wives are happy for them. So
Well,
that's a big spot.
Before I have you give it back to Josh, can you talk a little bit about what people tend to have initial just fear or hesitation on creating content in general, and then creating content with their face and name in front of it, right?
Yeah.
You've got more comfortable with that a lot lately, right?
Yep, definitely.
Can you touch on why you shouldn't? Yeah, you can touch on that.
I've definitely touched on that.
Can you touch on why that hesitation shouldn't be there?
So it's hard if you've never been the person in front of the camera. I've always been behind it, right? So it was weird when I started, getting in front of boards like this, or when Marvin shot his first video with me. It's a lot easier talking to you guys right now than it is to a lens in a room or something like that.
Yeah.
So I understand the hesitation side of it. The best option is to just say, YOLO, get in front of it. It's practice. So I think I've been getting better and better at it. I'm gonna try to start flipping the camera around more. But any content you can create is good content.
Yeah.
So
cool. You're handing back to this guy. So to segue into kind of my next question is something that I've dealt with for a long time. You all have become very popular on TikTok and Instagram and a lot. Is the comment section and the DMs of people trying to slow down or just pick apart everything that you do or say, whether it's PAvePro or whatever it is. And there's not very many, but it's people that the content of what they say to you, they wouldn't say right here if they were standing in front of us, because they would probably either get the law called on them or get taken away for psych evaluations. Can you touch on how you guys go around that and get around that? I know I've spoke about it quite a bit through the years because I've watched it stop people dead in their tracks from creating content, because they have to deal with that. I know you guys deal with it. You deal with it at the same level of intensity that I deal with it, and my team deals with it now because they see it, right? Same, your brother sees it, right? Can you talk about that? Like, how do you go through that?
Head on. I mean, and it's for anything that you do, kind of even tying back into what Jacob said. You live one life. Who cares what someone thinks? Do you focus on what you do and what makes you good and take pride in that? And as long as you take pride in what you create and what you do and your brand, that's gonna push through anything and everything that tries to slow
Why do
that
they do
road.
that? Why do they do that? Why do people do that?
I'll touch on that one.
Isn't that crazy? When you
is.
try to put yourself in somebody else's shoes, you say, why do they do that? Why would somebody do that? Who would have the time to say and do that, and why would they?
Someone's having a bad day.
That's right.
Someone's jealous. I mean, at the end of the day, it is what it is. There's nothing like having blinders on and just keeping your roll going, because nothing stops momentum. And if you can keep that momentum going despite any bump that you hit in the road for whatever it is that you're doing, success is inevitable.
All right. So to close it out and to wrap it up, we're here because we network, right? I mean, we network with my guy Mark and Chris and Nick, who I see over in the back as well. We all network with each other. We all become part of the community together. What has networking, putting yourself out there, creating social media content, I know I could ask Mark this as well, right? What has it done for you personally to put yourself out there? Obviously, it creates a network, right? Ryan's got us on film over here on his phone, right? And posting it to his network, and everybody's sharing it. what has it done for you as Josh Rigsbee to go ahead and get through the wall, become part of the network, put yourself out there? What has it personally done for you positively?
Made lifelong friends. Above all else, I mean, I've come across great deals, made great business relationships, but more importantly than that, made friends with those people first. And so that's something that if you don't put yourself out there, it's not going to fall in your lap. You've got to be able to put yourself out there and be willing to be uncomfortable. And in the end, like I said, these two guys sitting next to me, I consider my brothers for life.
I'm going to talk on that one.
So I have personal experience with that because I was here at Pavement Expo last year, and I just wanted a PAvePro hat, and Josh made me buy a sample kit of PAvePro Gold. It took probably 4 additional months to close my first drum, but like you said, it does create a lifelong friendship just because of that coming here and getting a sample and wanting a hat turned into friends for life, just like he said. It's crazy.
We talk every couple days.
Yeah,
right?
exactly, yeah.
And I got a few of my friends over here, we talk every couple days in a group. And then my friends here, we talk every couple days in a couple group. There's a network of support that gets built by doing that enhances your life. You know, we've been a lot of places together, and we're like, man, why are we here at this point together? And I feel like that kind of came together here again for all of us at Charlotte, right? Doing it on Tuesday night was fantastic, right? Yeah. To have everybody there and to see us all and all the pictures and everybody connect. It was a lot of fun, and a lot of time goes by, right? I mean, we get to see each other in between every few months here and there and stuff, but a lot of time goes by where you don't get to see somebody for a year, and then when you finally do, man, it feels good to know that you don't have to have that, hey, shake hands or whatever. You're running up giving hugs, man. You're like, man, it's been awesome.
Yeah, and it's only been a year, and I think Marvin's visited, and I visited Josh just a couple months ago. We do try to stop by when we can, and like you said, lifelong friendships for sure.
Yeah. So to close, next year in Tampa, right? What would you? Before I let you give it back to Josh, and that'll be it, but what would be your advice for somebody who's thinking about coming to National Pavement Expo next year, Tampa, and they have reservations on whether they should come or not?
So if you're coming to make the most of a National Pavement Expo, you want to be open. You don't want to be that person that's sitting in the back of the room watching everyone else network. Get up. Don't be scared. Shake people's hands. Trade business cards. Create these relationships that will let you return and have friends and know people, and get your foot in the door with other contractors and things like that. Take classes, walk the expo floor. Like I said, it's just the networking is definitely the main thing about these expositions and conferences.
All right, your turn. Want me to reiterate?
No, I would just say, first, bring a bathing suit. It's in Florida.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's true.
There we go.
Hey, there we go.
Other than bringing a bathing suit, I would just say, kind of tying to that, go around the expo floor and introduce yourself to everyone, because you'd be surprised what people would be willing to do for you. You don't know if you don't ask.
Yeah, I mean, we gel well. Us three gel really well, which I've come to find out I gel well with a good mix of people. And there's people that you don't gel well with, but yet you create a decent relationship to where we all have a great support system, and it gets built here at the National Pavement Expo and conferences, right? All right, that's it. We're done. We're done. I've had enough of you guys.
Thank you, guys. It's been awesome.
Yeah, no worries. So for myself and for Josh Rigsbee and for Jacob Buck, this is Blacktop Banter. And as always, and especially at National Pavement Expo, we speak asphalt.
Sir.
Cool. Thank you.